Hey, what up gamers? Get ready to crack open a cold gamer energy drink, cause today we're going to be talking about real gamer issues. And today we're going to be talking about replayability in video games, and why some video games you can play over and over and over again to the point that you get them fucking tattooed to your arm, and some you play and beat once and never again, but still claim that they're your favorite video games of the franchise even though you've beaten Breath of the Wild 7 times with over 900 hours of playtime. But first, like, share, and subscribe, and remember to ring the bell. Now let's hop in! Video game duration is a very important variable in determining whether or not a gamer is willing to attempt to embark on an epic quest again, or not. Even if you know exactly what to do, and you thoroughly enjoy the game, just having that mental clock in the back of your baboon brain can deter you from playing and beating a masterpiece for a second time. Take a look at a little-known masterpiece called Mario, which is at its soul just a mobile game. You literally just move left, right, and you jump. That's it. And you install it on your phone when you're taking a 5-hour car ride to Nana's house on a mobile emulator because you don't want to buy it again. But little did you know, you stupid caveman you're going to have to keep playing basically the same level about 32 times until you beat it. When you could have been playing Metal Gear Peace Walker on your PSP. But this is where Exhibit A Part 2 comes in. Speedrunning. I'm sure you've never heard of this weird Easter egg thing, but there's actually these things called warp pipes throughout Mario, and they help easily make a 1 to 2 hour repeating level a race to the finish line for gamers to test their might. Another thing speedrunners do is develop easier ways to complete certain tasks that may take them an hour or two, and complete them in, well, just watch this. Little did you know, but that actually just spared that guy about 30 minutes of annoyance. And while we're on the topic of annoyance, we'll be moving on to Exhibit B, which is pacing. There's nothing worse than playing a fun game than when it feels like the progress bus has just hit a speed bump and crashed, and every reason you had of wanting to play this game is fleeting, as you're deciding as to whether or not you want to shut off your console and break the disc into 1,000 little pieces. Take a look at the original Sonic the Hedgehog. They start you off at the Green Hill Zone, and for the first 3 levels you're just like... And then in the rest of the game, you're just like... And by the time you get to the underwater levels, you just want to play literally any other game you can think of. But when you play Sonic Mania, it's just... the entire game. It makes it an exciting game that gamers want to play over and over and over and over and over again because of how consistent it is throughout the whole game. And another thing that factors into replayability is the game mechanics. Out of all the platformers, out of all the 2D fighters, out of all the first-person shooters, why are you playing this one? Because there's one thing that you, the player, really likes about that game. One thing that puts it above the rest. Take a look at Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. At first glance, it looks like your average hack and slash, but then, it's actually a hack and shred. And you don't have to look around for medkits for health. You just kill a guy, take his health, and it's yours. And you just hold down RT to just completely skip all the platforming segments. These features are what make Rising a very replayable game for me personally. For you, it may be Mario's possessive cap that makes Odyssey a fun 3D platformer. Or maybe it's Titanfall 2's range of abilities and Titan combat that keep you coming back. Or maybe it's Phantom Pain's strategic stealth. Whatever it is that captivates you, that's why you came back, you silly little gamer you. And last, the final thing that separates the replayable from the unreplayables is the ending. Many games reward the player too much for beating it. They give the player a feeling of, whew, man, I did that? I did it! Whew. When they should tell the players, hey you! Yeah you ain't done bitch, get your ass back in there, dumbass! A perfect example of this is Final Fantasy 15. Once you beat it, the game starts sucking the player's dick, handing out certificates, thanking the player, which isn't bad. I like that actually, but it should be more like Persona 5, which if you haven't played this game, what the f doing right now? Get your gamer paws on this beautiful RPG right now. This is a definitive turn-based RPG of our time. Back to my point. Once you beat Persona 5, it gives you an amazing alternative. Replay the game, but this time you don't have to read books or do these miscellaneous tasks to increase strength or intelligence or whatever, which really takes a workload off the gamer. Now instead of having to worry about wasting time reading and working, they can use their time wisely and effectively by completing dungeons, going to mementos, and expanding friendships. It effectively reintroduces the player as opposed to congratulating them and sending them on their way. What, you thought I was done? No, I'm not done yet. I still got one more exhibit, and that is Exhibit Z for Zelda. One aspect of old Zelda games is how they're easily some of the most convoluted ass games I've ever played in my life. They make me feel like, uh-oh, is baby stupid? Is baby going to look up a guide for this hard puzzle? No, shut the f up, Miyamoto. I won't stoop to your f***ing level. I'm sorry, Miyamoto. Come here, baby. I love you. I love Zelda. One of my favorite games of all time is Link to the Past, but it's not a game I can just pop in and play for the hell of it. It was more of a one-off game for me because of some of the ridiculous puzzles and dungeons that I'm glad I played and beat, but I never want to traverse again if I don't have to.